Everyone, Thoughts of the Spot, episode 3, season 2. Eventually, I'll start saying season 2 because you already know. This episode,
What season are we? Just
season
kidding.
2. We might be getting canceled on this one, but it's okay. We totally understand that. Good things don't last forever.
Yeah, with great power
Comes
great responsibility, and it's our responsibility to give you the facts.
and how it is.
Yep.
But anyway, so first I wanted to bring up Silos did really some good art for the logos and for merch.
For merch, we got the new redesign. I don't even think we ever put out a logo.
No, we didn't have a logo before. It was just our face.
So I would just say a redesign logo. We redesigned the logo. You got some merch coming out. So you're trying to look good, keep an eye out.
Yeah,
because this is gonna be some drippy stuff.
Yep. So it's good stuff. We'll have some for some shirts, some hats. We'll get some
Chonies,
samples.
anything that you need.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll lead down to condoms and stuff. You know? I wouldn't say they're the best. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
let's just say that we are that. That's how we got a new son.
it's like we have all the fucking, we get all the distributed here, and then we just poke holes and then we send them out.
It's like, hey, we want all of them to be dads. So the more of us, the better. So
and more listeners.
Yeah, more listeners. So let's get a condom that's effective on purpose.
We'll have regular sizes. And then
we'll have the first ever hobby sizes, which is about, I don't know,
like
the camera is just like this small.
Those little ones that you put in.
So those are exclusive hobby sizes.
And then we have the third size that is called blessed. And not stressed. But anyway, so that's kind of.
I think it'll be. We should.
We won't have.
They should have like jokes on like condoms though on the side note. Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny like
kind of like the tappy jokes?
Yeah. Well, maybe not because you're in the mood.
But it's all dad
jokes. Yeah, like when you're getting in the mood, I guess you're not really. You don't. It's already hard for us, man, to want to wear a condom when that adrenaline's pumping. You know what I mean? But I think it'd be funny to like.
Just. Yeah.
Like have like not necessarily like a joke, like we have to read a joke, but like funny sayings.
But I mean, like how would you read
you even see the rapper? Because night usually dark.
Unless we make them glow
in the dark rappers. All this bullshit ideas just to come up with they're not even gonna read the jokes.
It's like, hold on, it's a fucking like bummer, dude. It's just like, I'm not even into it
anymore. Yeah, it's like this joke sucked. This is a horrible joke. I don't even want to do this anymore.
Oh, great. It's like, well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We saved you from that grenade. So.
Yeah, so yeah.
That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways. But the blessed size is not even gonna come. We're probably only gonna make like 10 because we are number ones,
They're blessed. So. And then we'll just call them like how it is, It's average.
It's average.
It was the average size.
Yeah.
The blessed size.
It's like my wife. She's like, oh yeah, what were we talking about? Something about. Oh yeah. Her mom had pambazos. My suegra, my in-law. She made pambazos, whatever that's called. And it was one of those like. So usually it's like the rolls, the circular one.
Yeah.
Well, she ran out, so she gave us one of those. What do you fucking call that bread? Just a fucking regular.
Like a loaf of bread, or
I guess it's a 6-inch one,
Like the ones you get like the grocery store.
Yeah, like come on,
like a French bread.
Yeah, like not French bread. You know how they fucking call it in Spanish, bolillos.
Bolillos.
Yeah. Anyways, and my wife was like, "So yeah, we ran out of the circular ones. I can make you some of the one with the bolillos, but I don't know if that's gonna fill you up." And I'm like, "That's a big size.
That's a big size for me.
It'll fill me up."
Like
I don't know what he's talking about, but
he's had tears in his eyes, and she's like, "This is pretty small."
Like I didn't want to eat it because I was that hungry, and so I'm just letting you know.
So yeah, but mambazos, just so you guys know what that is, it's just like sloppy joes, Mexican sloppy joes. Yeah, just for the people that may not know what that is, it's like sloppy joes.
Yeah, and so that's it. That's just gonna be the end of this episode.
So 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 scratch the whole merch. We're just focusing on condoms now.
Don't even. It's like, yeah, we just thought of
We
this
just thought of this
immediately.
idea. This is thoughts, raw thoughts.
Damn, dude, you put that on it. Put that
On
on
a
a shirt, bro.
on a t-shirt,
Raw thoughts.
raw thoughts.
Anywho, so speaking about raw and what raw can cause, and usually it causes,
You get sick.
uh-huh,
If you eat something wrong, you get
yeah, you
sick.
get
Just
sick.
so you know.
But then it leads to marriage because you have to get married, so the kid and all that. But then because you got married because the condom broke and it wasn't meant to be, then you get divorced, right?
Mm-hmm.
This leads me to my topic of uh they like I was thinking one day.
How do you,
Not
when
usually
you were thinking one day, I
like
was
how
like,
can I get
how can I get divorced?
divorced without having to give everything away?
Yeah, he's like, how can I get divorced? You just looked at your wife and just like, I'm gonna get divorced.
So then I asked ChatGPT, how can I get divorced
Yeah,
without having
chatting. Just
to? No, but I was thinking once, and I'm like, what's like crazy and messed up is like usually when someone gets divorced, the wife takes everything, right? Or so has my wife threatened me to take everything and
she
at
has
first.
threatened me.
But I'm just like, that's not fair. Like I work from my home, I work from my car. Like I wouldn't want her to take everything, but I feel it's kind of the thing, it's sometimes it's more on the put on the wife to like.
Well, I think that the background of the story comes from like they know that this is a traditional thing. I'm not saying this how it is now or how it should be. This is how things were back then, right? Where usually the man is usually the one working and the wife is the one that stays home, right?
Mhm,
So they know that it necessarily wouldn't be fair for the woman
mm,
because obviously they don't have a necessarily a career
no,
stable, and the man is doing all the work, right? So he's the one earning everything, right? So it necessarily wouldn't be fair. So I think that's where that comes from. Um, but I feel like it hasn't like updated to now this generation, where both parties are working, So necessarily the woman shouldn't necessarily be able to take everything
mm,
because now both parties are working,
yeah,
And I feel like that's not hasn't been to what the standards what it should be now. So I think
yeah.
that's why.
Well, I take it back everything I said into my wife,
So yeah,
but then I
yeah,
take it right back. No,
no, but it makes sense. Like,
yeah,
but then
but
it comes down to the whole thing, like, but not just like your stuff too. I feel like women, if you when you get in a divorce, they just want to hurt you the most,
yeah,
and that could just be like, you know what, you're not gonna see your kids.
yeah,
They want to like hit you with the sting.
yeah. And I think it's messed up, and I saw like somewhere on TikTok where it was talking about it talked about in I think it was in Florida, how it's if the wife cheats, because I think alimony, I feel alimony is usually just for the spouse, right? Like would a husband be able to get alimony?
I think, yeah, you
Well,
can
I
get
don't know. I
alimony.
mean, let's
I'm pretty
say
sure.
I don't know if the law was for like for both, like but it was saying, I guess it talks about the breadwinner because that's who gets the alimony. But let's say the wife cheats, the husband's making the money. If they were to get divorced, then she no longer gets alimony because she cheated, or also
She
because
decides to
she
leave, or
decides to end the divorce. Which is crazy, right? Because I know when I had that conversation with my wife, she was like, "Well, what if she left? What if she started the filing for divorce because she was getting hit or whatever the
well, you
case
kind of
was?"
have to prove it. I'm assuming
Yeah, I
there has to
mean,
be some sort of like proof, and that way you do get alimony.
yeah,
So I'm assuming. But I mean, that's I feel like not to get canceled here or not, but that's like I feel like that's how it should be viewed, right? Like that's how it should be in general. Like if the woman cheats, like
hmm,
why would you have to pay alimony?
yeah,
Like in general, like, and it kind of brings that that spawns that whole topic where right now if a woman cheats and could take alimony, what does the guy really get?
hmm,
right now. We go back to the same thing. No one really cares about our feelings, bro.
Yeah.
We go back to the same thing. We'll be hurt, right? If your wife cheats on you, I'm pretty sure you'll be hurt. And then on top of that, you have to pay her
Yeah.
to be with this new guy.
It's a double hurt.
It's like double whammy, bro. So it's just like, in reality, is like, worst. Man, I don't want to say like complain as being a man, but it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's out here. It's hard here in the streets, bro.
Yeah.
So, so let's move to Florida. And Florida, leave it to Florida. Always come up with these stuffs.
It's a crazy stuff, but good stuff. I don't know. I mean, it can be both good and bad to whoever's on the receiving end, right? For us, we're like,
But how would it hurt the woman though? Maybe, I mean, maybe the whole cheating thing. Like, let's just focus on the cheating, but like just cheating. How will that affect negatively on the woman?
mm, like if she cheats,
Yeah, like how does that affect her bad?
no, I don't think so. I don't
I
know.
mean, I think the losing party. I mean, and same thing for women when they get cheated on, they take the biggest. Same thing for us. Like if we, I mean, and it's vice versa for us. Like if we cheat, and especially if the woman's not earning enough money or she's not working, like we should pay her alimony.
Hmm.
Because yeah, we cheated on you.
Yeah.
Like you should be taken care of.
Yeah.
But why would it? But that mentality should stay the same if the woman cheats, right? Like why do we have to pay because you wanted to cheat? Whether you're not
Correct.
happy with me, then you should just you cheated. Cool, we go our separate ways. You start your new life. I'll start mine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Do you think that would be some conversations? I mean, how you really don't think about those conversations unless like you see it on TikTok, right? Or you see it. And for me, when I was in the saw, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that, knowing that I have,
But it's just always gonna start debate, right?
yeah,
If you're saying that because we're men, right, and then women are gonna feel some kind of way because they're women,
yeah,
so they're gonna. I don't think there's always a debate. There's never a solution to the thing.
mm-hmm.
I think it just causes
Mm-hmm.
more friction all the time with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's a hard topic to necessarily. I mean, for you and I, it's probably easier to have the conversation, right? Because we're like, hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But then when you talk about it with maybe your wife's probably like, well, that's not really fair because this, and this.
yeah,
So I just think,
yeah. Which I think, I mean, like you said, right? It was back in the olden times. Now it's like women work, like spouses work. I'm over here saying women, like we're not supposed to be working or something. Don't get me canceled. But it's now that everyone works. Is like I even told my wife like work and do something so that way if say I was to die, I was to leave you, have something to that's yours, right? Now that's just like, and I'm not saying don't take anything from me, but like let's go kind of see realistically like what does belong to you and what doesn't belong to you.
which
But
is
else, which is not my money. But what's crazy though is then you start thinking about like right away like when we take your kids. I'm like, why are you gonna take my kids or our kids? It's just, you shouldn't put a kid into that in the middle of it.
well, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but I feel like I said, don't get me canceled. This is just thoughts
At the spot.
thoughts at the spot. We're putting them in the spot. Like I feel like women think the same way though. They know how to get you.
Yeah.
When they have a guy that really cares for the kids, that's the way to hurt them.
Yeah. Mm.
They want to hurt you, and they know that they could get away with it.
Do you think I mean, I'm trying to see. Would this be any related to as far as our culture, like how we're brought up, or is it just more of like kind of like the American culture?
I don't even know what culture it necessarily pertains to, but I just feel like they have this idea that they want to like hurt you,
Hmm.
so that's the only way to do it.
Yeah. My thing would be like, okay, we get divorced, like let's just get over it with,
Well,
you know.
in my idea, I mean, in a perfect world, and I say a perfect world because the world ain't perfect, but you know, in we'll call it Sea Land, which is my land.
Kind of like Barbie Land,
Yeah,
but
like
if that's
Barbie Land.
trademark, you can't say that.
Yeah, can't say. But in this land, when you get divorced, you both acknowledge, no matter what the cost is, unless it's domestic violence, then yeah, I have every
Yeah,
you have every right for them. But if it's just like a general, and even it comes down to cheating, but in this world, like you realize that you love each other. You once loved each other. You guys once cared about each other. It didn't work out either because we're fell out of love. It's not the same. I cheated. You cheated. Yes, it hurts, but we have things that we have built together. We're just kids, house, cars, whatever. Like we have to come to an agreement to fix this. Why do I want to spend my life making your life hell?
yeah,
And why does she want to spend her life making my life hell?
yeah,
Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Yes, maybe I cheated or you cheated. Like we have to figure it out and solve it. We can't spend this whole life like, oh, I'm not gonna let you see the kids, or
yeah,
I'm gonna tell your kids how a shitty father you are,
yeah,
or I'm gonna tell the kids how bad of a mother you are. I feel like we should take that same. Not gonna say that because I know you maybe fall out in love and stuff, but that once and upon a time love that you had for each other, and try to resolve this to make your guys' life easier.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
and that's what be in my world.
That's yeah. I mean, it's all this, right? So many debates that were like, it's just our own thoughts, because like just putting everyone into it, talking about alimony, talking about child support, talking about everything is just like, yeah, let's just be civil about it and get over with, in the perfect world.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's not gonna be like that. It's hard to. I think it's time we put it out there. PSA, start thinking about the children and how it's gonna affect them. And I see that happen to me because I have family members, cousins, that have
And
parents are
yeah,
divorced.
same thing. Me,
And
same thing with me. Think about the kids. What about the kids?
yeah,
Because that's at the end of the day, the ones that are gonna have the hardest time processing that,
mhm,
no matter the age.
yeah,
Eventually, they'll come to that. You know, that hard. That both you're not gonna have both parents, so it
yeah.
just makes them hard.
Hmm. But what happened though? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you get divorced, and then 2 years later, or down the road, you get remarried again to the wife your ex-wife. How would you feel about that?
You get remarried.
Hmm. Would you even remarry, or would you
Yeah.
just
Well,
like, let's just
I've
be
I've always
together?
I've always told my wife that if we ever were to get divorced, I mean, hopefully that never happens, but if that ever was to come, I would not want to remarry.
Yeah,
I will not remarry,
so we
and
can live together. That's it.
so like, and the things that come out like it's like, well, what if the girl you're with wants to get married? Like then you have to get married. But in reality, like I'm not seeking. Well, obviously, I can't think that way because I'm not going through a divorce. But when you're going through a divorce, like my hopefully my thought is like I don't want to get back in a relationship right away. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna go next with someone else. No, like, I think my focus would be like get my shit together, make sure my kids are taken care of. And in reality, like if I date, you date, but you set that straight forward when you're dating. Like hey,
yeah,
I'm not looking to get married. If that's something that you want, like maybe I'm not the guy for you.
yeah. I had those conversations, right? Not because we were about to get divorced or anything.
Like we were about to sign and
It's like
everything.
we're just here because. But I had this conversation when I said like I think for me it would be like next person I meet, I'd be like, yo, yeah, of course I agree with you. Take some time, not just jump to a relationship like that. Um, but also tell that next person and the next person, 'cause I'm gonna be a hoe for sure.
You can be a hoe.
Be like, look, I'm don't plan on getting remarried. Maybe I'll plan on getting married again. Maybe down the road eventually, but like it's out of the picture, unless
Yes.
I'm feeling you, you feeling me, and later on, but I would want that person to be in the same page, where we're both like, And I really don't care if they're married. They were married before or not, right? Do I
But you would
have
really want to go to that road of getting married again?
no. But for me, I would be like, I would want that person to be in the same page. Like we're not getting married, right? At all, right? Both of us to say that and agree. But then also knowing that there eventually would be an option to like maybe guess what,
Never
like
be an option, man.
and the thing about me, like the thing about it is I don't really with marriage that it's just a paper, right?
Exactly. I mean, and we go back to the same thing. The generation is seeing that more.
Yeah.
They're okay. There's less and less couples that are okay with being married because they know. I feel like marriage creates more of like a tension in the relationship. You know that extra stress. Like, oh shit, I'm married now. Like I have
Hmm.
to. Like you feel like this sort of like closure. Like I'm.
Hmm.
Like they're trapping me down. But it's not really like that.
Mm.
But you feel that, and that's kind of, I'm assuming that's why people cheat, and
Mm.
50% of marriages end in divorce because it just puts them in that stress.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you could go through a whole life and not be married.
Yeah. I think it's doable. I think it's
I mean, now there's other things involved, like some people that might see this and comment and stuff, but they'll be like, well, what if you pass away? And like all these other things, like the legal stuff of it. But in some states, after you living with someone for so long, they consider you
yeah, like legal
the,
marriage.
the
But
legal marriage. But
but
there's ways around it. If people both parties decide not to get married, there's
yeah.
ways to put the legal aspect. Like
Yeah.
sign documents,
Yeah.
will, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think I think that would be a great option. Of course, this is our
Our
own
thoughts.
opinions, our
We're
own
not
thoughts.
legal. We're
I
not
mean,
legal
we're legal,
professionals.
but we're not
No, we're
legal.
illegal.
but,
Well, we have the legal in our status. I
but,
mean,
uh,
I don't
we're
know.
not legal professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it's just like, but also it goes back to it's just a program, right? It's a program with how you're supposed to get married and you have to spend so much money on the ring. It has to be so much, so expensive. The wedding has to be expensive. All this has to be expensive, right? And so it's like programmed to like you have to get married, when it's like no, you don't have to get married. And
Well, let
now,
me. Yeah.
I feel you have that mentality. We have that maturity where it's like, yeah, we don't have to get married. Like I wish I could go back. I'm not saying go back. I'm
You
saying
want to?
like
You want to go back?
and
What?
and 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 just tell them like my younger self, like, hey, don't get married, but like put everything in legal paper, right? And it would be voided if that person, if you guys leave each other, right? Of course you guys leave each other, one cheats or whatever, because I think that would be the best thing, and it's just you, it's just your lawyer saying, okay, here we're removing that person from, or that person's lawyer saying, okay, we're removing you from this person's, because I think that's the best way. Imagine how much money you would save instead of having to go through all the process of being divorced and all the like trouble and shit,
But
right?
I think it's hard, man. I don't think it's that easy, right? I
It's,
mean, let's keep it simple. I mean, would you be okay signing a prenup?
I would.
Would your wife be okay signing a
I
prenup?
hope so.
You
But
know,
wouldn't
but
that whole like wouldn't that other way of just moving in but having everything documented as far as like what who keeps what, if eventually you're still together for so many years and you pass away, right? That's all you have to worry about. Instead of if you're getting married, now you need a prenup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like what I'm trying to get at? Like
yeah,
going down the route where it's like you don't need a prenup because you're not married,
exactly.
and yours belongs to yours because you're not married. That person belongs, unless, right, you are together for so many years and it's in the will or whatever. Like, hey, I want my partner I've been living with to keep everything.
Yeah, makes sense. Unless you were married before and you haven't gotten divorced,
Mm.
and then you start dating.
But like, it's like, why would you date if you're still married?
People still do that.
Do you think it's wrong or right?
I don't think it matters,
Mm.
right? I don't really. Man, to be completely honest, man, I don't give a shit. Like
Nah,
I don't really give a shit. If you're married and you're cheating, I don't give a shit. If
yeah,
you're married and you're getting divorced,
unless
and
it's my wife.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's like at the end of the day, it's just like, dude, I don't care if you're in a relationship and you end it and the next day you want to get with someone else, more power to you.
Yeah.
I don't really care, and I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna tell you a hoe or you're a
Mhm.
slut or you a pimp. Like, doesn't really matter, bro. Like, you live your life, whatever makes you happy. That's the life you want to live in. Perfect.
Yeah.
So like this whole concept of like, and especially in our culture, we go back to our culture thing, but especially in our culture, um, women get this sense of like, oh, like you shouldn't remarry or you shouldn't be with other men because you maybe you got divorced or maybe you ended a relationship. Like, you should not be with multiple men, or you shouldn't bring men around. Like, you should just have that one man.
Yeah,
Like,
like the sticks. You mean like sticking with that same person because you're right? And I heard that before too. It's like, oh, you need to stick with that person because
but as
yeah,
guys, like you could bring as much women as you want to your home,
um,
and your parents won't say anything. Yeah, they'll have that conversation like, "Hey, be smart, don't be stupid. You don't want to have multiple kids." But women get it harder. In our culture, they're like, "Well, that's wrong. They're gonna think you're a hoe. Una
mm,
cualquiera is what they
yeah,
say.
damn, bro.
All that type of stuff, and that it's not fair because if a girl likes to, let's just call it how it is, raw. If she likes to have sex, then fuck it, let her do whatever the hell she wants. It doesn't matter if the tia fucking thinks you're a hoe.
Hmm.
Or if you got out of a relationship and in a week or so you want to move on.
Yeah,
Like, you should do whatever. Life is too short, and everyone knows that life is too short to try to please other people.
true.
So, but like I said, we talk about it more often like that because we belong to that culture.
Yeah,
So I just think it's just like, let them be hoes.
let them be hosts. Both man and woman.
Man and woman.
Yeah, damn,
They
dude.
they should just, be able to do as they please. But if the woman cheats, they should not take alimony.
Yeah, that's what we want to say. It's like don't take the alimony.
Just everything compile it to, woman, if you cheat, you don't deserve alimony.
That's pretty much it. Don't worry about everything else that we
Yeah, you
said.
could just ignore it, but just focus on
Yeah.
this. It's like, you do not get alimony if you
Yeah.
cheated.
Well,
Well, you shouldn't even ask for alimony, bro. Like,
yeah,
you should be like,
should be good.
you should like touch it in your own heart.
Yeah.
Like, I just cheated on this guy. Like, why would I want to take his money? Wouldn't the new guy you have
Yeah.
provide for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope, but I don't know.
Um.
Yo que sé, bro.
Just you.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. But
Well,
then, even if we speak knowledge, would you really listen to yourself at the age of 18,
nah.
19, 20,
No.
21? No.
I mean, it's not until now.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
even our own kids, we're gonna tell them,
Don't
and
do
even
this.
our parents told us, but we're like, well, no, I know everything. I know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not how it happens, dude. We're all human, and we all go through that.
No, I agree. And dude, we went. So I like the thoughts of the spots, right? But I think these raw thoughts, giving it to you how it is. I think
Giving
there's
it to you
some
raw
give it to you
in your
raw
ear.
in your ears. So we got some good we got some good shit. If you do you have anything else there, Silos, that you want to add?
Um, no, like I said, we come out with these thoughts at the spot, hence the name. If you guys haven't
Yeah.
caught on, so I mean, like I said, we don't try to like offend anybody. We're just really just
Yeah.
talking stuff. So
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good way of ending another episode here at Thoughts of the Spots with Silos and C Joe. So be on the lookout for our merch that's coming. Well, you'll see it on us
coming
first
to Walmart near
near you,
you. Just
and then eventually we'll post. We'll have some. Like later to purchase. So thanks again. This is been great. We'll continue giving these episodes out and more of our raw thoughts. So appreciate it.
we'll catch you on
Peace.
the next one.